This is LSD Dream Emulator, a 1998 exploration adventure game released on the PS1. The person responsible for this game was a man by the name of Osamu Sato, who has his own artwork. Now, before we actually get into the dream journal connected with this game, I have to put in a little disclaimer. This game explores topics like self-harm and depression, all the way up to rape and assault. So, viewers' discretion is advised. And without further ado, let's get into the mysteries of a 26-year-old game. Now, when you start the game, you'll be greeted with the loudest intro of 2025. Now, when you actually do decide to press Start Dream, you're dropped into this almost apartment-like complex. Now, in order to talk about this apartment complex, I'm gonna have to give you guys a little bit of context. Today, we're gonna be going over a dream journal, which was actually the basis for the making of this game. This dream journal belonged to a woman named Hiroko Nishikawa. Now, this apartment complex is heavily based off of where she lived. And if we go to 353 Nishihara in Shibuya City, we can actually go to the exact building she lived in. But as we can see from the mass amounts of popularity this game got, they've taken to darkening the windows and putting plexiglass over everything, just to hide the identities of residents. Saturday, April 21st, 1987. The depths of the earth. I'm dreaming in a headache. Gigantic fish and manta rays are swimming at the bottom of a stagnant river. Feels as if I'm looking down at the bottom of the earth from high up above. No one else around can see these things, jostling up against each other. The thousands of huge fish are swimming gracefully. It's a scary, yet somewhat familiar scene.
Okay. Oh, by the way, I did not introduce this. This is gonna be a new Let's Play. It's, LSD Dream Emulator for the PlayStation. So how do I
Oh god. Oh god. Oh god.
Okay.
You know where not to go, right?
How do I... This game is bad controls. Can I just say that outright? I'm gonna look.
No,
this place
don't.
is cool. I wanna go in here. What is this? Oh, I just did... Okay, whatever. So yeah. I wanted to do this because it's random, and I thought that would make it more fun. Because randomness is funness.
Now, at the end of your first dream, which is usually around 4 or 5 minutes, you'll come back out and you'll usually be left with a upper instead of a downer dream, depending on what you've done. Now, at the end of these 5 minutes, you'll be taken out and shown a graph that's going to show you where you were in the dream. Did you have a good dream? Did you have a bad dream? Now, it is very usual that when you start a new dream, you won't be in the same place you stopped it at, but it is very possible that you can start the dream where you left off. Now, depending on where you are in this dream graph, the textures of the game can change for literally everything. Uppers are more colorful and happy, with downers being more darker and scary. Starting day 2, you'll be met with a page of kanji, which roughly translates to,
I'm being chased. I'm being chased by something. Something like an organization. The old retired master of the small dressmaker shop is covering for me. However, I will continue to be chased by my enemies.
Now, originally, this made me think of the Violence District, and more specifically, an entity that lives there by the name of the Gray Man. Now, when you encounter this person, they'll continuously walk towards you until eventually catching up to you and ending your dream early. Now, there's not much known about who this actually is, and looking into the game files doesn't unearth anything special. Now, digging a little deeper into this game, if we go into the game manual under the flashback option, we can actually read, "When you have been to various places and seen many things, the flashback option will appear on the menu screen. If you select this option, notable scenes you remember up to this point will be replayed. However, sometimes a mysterious gentleman will appear in the field. If you encounter him, your memory will be erased, so please exercise caution." Now, I did go over the texture changes, but I didn't go over the feelings associated with each one, so let's do that now. Now, we went over uppers and downers, but we didn't go over static and dynamic. Now, in order to get into the static category on this list, you have to stay in one location for long amounts of time. Dynamic is the opposite. You need to be linking, or in other words, touching things to be transported to other places. Now, once you just start playing the game, you're going to get into one of these categories, and it's going to affect your character's mood. This could have changes on the things you see, the textures that are replaced, and even the entities that spawn. The one I'm showing you now is a dynamic upper. The way you can tell this is by looking at the faces on the wall and the colors, the vibrant colors on the floor. This tells me that this is a happy scene. And having encounters and even interactions with entities such as the Gray Man can have drastic effects on where you land on the chart. Tuesday, June 6, 1995. A day full of dead bodies. A house in Guyon. There are a few dead bodies about. One has no head. Others are seriously maimed. My mother and some friends have their hands in the coffins and are sewing up wounds and reattaching the severed head with needles and thread. They are working calmly, as if it were housework. At a sunny church across the street, a priest is holding a little girl and trying to bring her into the church. There are bodies of children lying in the recesses of the church. In the Violence District, it's kind of rare, but you can find someone who has just recently murdered someone, and he's standing there kicking him relentlessly. I believe this is the murderer from the dream. Now, I don't exactly have any evidence to support this, other than the fact if you explore the Violence District for a long time, you can come across a bunch of dead bodies. Around 4 or 5 to be exact. And for 26 years, there's been no explanation for this, so I'm just gonna count it as an entity. Now, I guess I should kind of mention this since we're getting away from, like, the creepier entities in this game. There's actually a theory about the Gray Man that is, that the entire game takes place in an alien sleep study, where our dreams are being eavesdropped on and recorded, and the Gray Man is supposed to be, he's supposed to be an I'm not even finishing it. Alright, so we're almost at the 10-minute mark, so we need to keep retention up. Let's do a little fucking scratch off, dude. I don't do scratch off, so I don't know how exactly this works. Match any of your winning numbers to either winning. Match any of your numbers to either winning numbers. Win prize show for that number. We pretty much lost the lot, man. We lost the house. Touch this wall. Just for fun. Just to see where it takes me. Okay. This is pretty cool. There's also a giant pit in the middle. I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to see that. It is a little low res. Did that motherfucker just migrate? What? Okay, I don't like this game anymore. I do no. I don't like that at all, dude. Dude, I got fucking goosebumps, dude. I don't like that at all. It's too late and it's 1 in the morning. It's too late for that. It's too fucking late, dude. I don't like that at all. Now, in the sexual texture theory, the gray man may represent a rapist or murderer. The player's mind may be trying to mentally block out to prevent repressed memories from being reawakened, due to those memories being traumatic, thus resulting effect of memory loss. I shit you not, the last theory is that he's the Benadryl man. Now, objects in this game are described as being entities with special powers, and let's go over some of them. First, I want to go over the giant baby head. So the giant baby head is a B-type entity, and what that means is that it only spawns in on B-type days. So think of it as your first day you go into LSD Dream Emulator, you're on a A-type day. Next day would be B. Next day would be A. Keeps going, you get it. And it's usually found around in Kyoto or in Monument Park, which is... I have only seen it about 1 time. Now, interacting with the big baby head, he will open up his mouth to reveal a letter of kanji, and depending on what mood your character is in when meeting him, that kanji can change from meaning Kyoto to meaning love to meaning anything, really. A editorial basket here. The kanji is actually just from the Dream Journal. It's just words from the Dream Journal. Now, linking with the big baby head will bring you back to Kyoto almost every time. I have seen sometimes it'll link you to the Violence District, but it's kind of rare. Now, the second entity I want to go over is the teddy bear, which is a type A entity, meaning it only spawns on type A days, and it's usually found in the Bright Moon Cottage, the place that you pretty much spawn. So spawning into the game, you can kind of just look around the apartment complex and find him pretty easily. He should be sitting in front of a TV. And if you don't interact with him and you go and just play your game normally, and one time you spawn back into the cottage after a dream, you will actually begin moving, which is a really weird phenomenon. Sometimes he'll go up the stairs and get stuck, making it so you have to touch him to leave. Which not particularly, you could just pretty much run into the wall to get linked anywhere else. This game, you can't touch anything. You touch anything in this game, you get transported somewhere else, so take of that what you will. Next entity we're going to talk about is the giant fish. Now, this guy can mostly be found in the natural world, which is this dark green, like, landscape of LSD Dream Emulator. It's pretty cool, Getting closer to the fish, it'll entirely disappear, and they have like this pyramid that goes to them and then flies up, and then it'll happen again. Maybe it's just low quality graphics, but it might be bubbles or something like that. It might just be like a bubble effect. I don't know. I couldn't find any research on it, and it didn't seem to be that important, so we'll go to the next one. Actually, before we do, this is actually a rarer entity in the game. If we go back to the first chapter we read, we can hear about big fish and big whales and these giant sea creatures, which I think that this would be very indicative of. Next, we're going to talk about the floating astronaut. Now, the floating astronaut only appears once and only on B-type days, which you can usually find him on your 4th day whenever you're playing. You can just go up to the top of the Bright Moon Cottage, which is pretty primarily where he stays, and you can find him just kind of floating there, and sometimes he'll float away, and he has like this trumpet sound that he accompanies with. Don't know what that means, but I just thought I'd make a note of that. And linking with him will bring you to Black Space. Black Space is kind of like this developer texture room almost. Like, it's very bland and no texture and dark and gloomy. So it's just like these bunch of white boxes, and it's just this dark plane, and there's usually stuff there like one entity will get over in a quick second. Now, the person that actually is here in the Black Space is a person by the name of the Hoop and Stick Girl. If you've ever seen that game where it's like a hoop with the inside hollowed out and a stick, and they're rolling it like that, it's basically what it is. And she is actually looks closely like similar to somebody in the Violence District, which is the Hopscotch Girl. And like self-explanatory, but yeah, I just thought I'd throw that out there. There's not very much info on why the astronaut does this, but if I had to guess, it's probably because of space, and then you go to the... I'm not going to explain it to you. This is very... Yeah. Now, the opera singer spawns in Happy Town and is usually unreachable by the player because they're up on this pillar that they just kind of sing on. They don't have a body and they have white gloves, so take of that what you will. Especially on rare occasions, a group of opera singers will show up and just begin playing. This is a rare event though, and you won't get it often. Alright, so now we're going to be talking about the giant head. Now, the first time you saw this, you probably shit yourself.
Let's see if I can get this.
The head can only be saw on 2 types of A-type days, and it will be on the top floor of the Bright Moon Cottage in 2 rooms. It has 2 rooms that it likes to go in between. Going in front of these rooms, he will shoot his head out at you, which is fucking terrifying, and will link you into the Violence District. And when your character starts to get into worse and worse moods, this head can become terrifying. Next, we're going to go over a pretty tame one. It's just the Kyoto gondola drivers. So they'll just be in the water with their little gondola and they'll just float on through. They can only be seen on A-type days and they don't really have any other thing to do with the player. I don't think you can interact with them, so that's just them. Now, if you are in Kyoto, you can kind of see some of these Buddhist statues. Usually you'll only see one, but on very, very rare occasion, you can see multiple Buddhist statues walking down, like, just down Kyoto, which linking with them will generally bring you to Monument Park. Next we got our boy. Next, we got our fucking boy. Now we're gonna talk about Double Face. Now this motherfucker, this is the homie. Mostly found in Bright Moon Cottage on B-type days. You can usually find him outside the front of the cottage or in behind the bar. Now, linking with him will bring you to the Pit and Temple, which is this kind of Aztec kind of temple with a big pit in the middle. It's pretty self-explanatory. Double Face is a peach-colored creature with faces on double sides of his body, and getting close to him will make him begin spinning and then floating up into the air. Now, depending on your character's mood, he can fully be made up of kanji or just straight up terrifying. But I like to think that, you know, this guy, he's a pretty chill dude. Now, if you just watch him, he'll pretty much just idle and just run in place like this, and that's pretty cool. I like this guy. Okay, maybe this one's not an entity, but I thought I just might say it. So you can find a double rainbow in the natural world, which I thought was just pretty cool. Thought I might add that for you. Somebody's gonna like that. So the train of Happy Town is not really an entity, as much as it is just a train. So yeah, it's pretty much just the train. It just goes through Happy Town. Sometimes it stops, sometimes it doesn't. And that's it. And for this next one, I am smoking weed. The Abyssal Demon. Now, this fucker exists in the bottom of the natural world's abyss, and depending on the player's actions, he will actually rise out of the abyss and tower over the player. Now, this is one of your generic demons with the 2 horns and rock-like textures splattered on him. Now, some people say he symbolizes the corruption of innocence, or the fucking castle we went through earlier with the king and the daughter, I'm guessing. That's what they're trying to say it is. I think it's literally, I think Osamu just wanted to put in a demon. I think he just wanted to put in a demon. Now, linking with this creature will bring you to the Kyoto district, and I mean, doesn't really affect your mood as much, I guess. Like, which I think it should, but it doesn't. So, all right, Jesus Christ, that's all the entities. All right, what's next? Sexual textures. So the sexual textures in this game are pretty simple. I mean, Osamu pretty much just took a bunch of Japanese models, fucking took their face and plopped it straight onto the walls and shit, so that's that. And it can very much affect entities as well, giving them, plastering some woman's face onto them, or even on the walls, or on the floor, or on the ceiling, and mostly you can find this in the Bright Moon Cottage whenever you first start. Well, not first start, but whenever you first start your dream. Now, on any day of playing this game, you can link to somewhere called the Flesh Tunnels. Now, the Flesh Tunnels are weird because if you actually take a look at the map of it, it is the exact layout of a uterus. And in here, it's about what you would expect. It's pretty much a flesh tunnel. And you can actually find like these baby-like creatures in there that are actually labeled in the game files as fetuses. And I just really like that because I feel like Osamu really put a lot of effort into this making of the game. No two playthroughs are going to be alike. No two people are going to have the same experience with this game. Some people might like it, some people might think it's fun, some people might think it's scary. And it's all just up to you. And that's what I feel like this game does the best, is give people a different experience than what we've had for the past 10 years now with games. Don't make us happy anymore, and they don't make us excited anymore. Think about the recently with the Game Awards, how they were hyping up that game, and when it came to actually presenting it, everyone said, we don't want it. So, yeah, and that was, I mean, yeah, but for a 26 now, dude, we're at the end of December, 27-year-old game that can still do this is just insane. And I know I'm probably missing out some stuff that I could put into this video, but thank you guys for watching. So yeah, as I was saying, there's a lot more that I could have put into this video, but it would probably be like an hour long, and I know probably no one wants to watch that. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Merry Christmas. I'm going to now unwind with a little joint, and yeah, hope you guys have a good Christmas. Thank you guys for watching the videos. Thank you guys for, you know, liking, commenting, all that different shit. And you know, play this game for yourself. It's a good experience either way. And yeah, peace.
Problems, you know. Santa sound to me like nice person, you know. Okay, go man with presents. Thanks Santa for you. But then I listen to tune, and Santa is, I think, a pedophilia man. You know, or stalker or something. You know, you go. He knows when you are sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you are bad or good. What? Santa, what are you? You go what? You go to children bedroom and look to see. Oh, sleeping. Oh, what?